Welcome back to my channel and to the second episode in this series where we are renovating a 1957 Cavalier CS-96 Coca-Cola vending machine. In this episode we will be handling phase 1 of the restoration, which is focusing on the coin mechanism. In the previous episode we tried to see if the vending machine would operate, and I think it's reasonable to say that it was a failure. I believe this largely due to the issues with the coin mechanism, so the ultimate goal for this episode is to get the coin mechanism serviced and working to see if we can operate the vending machine. So grab a Coke and let's get started. So to remove the coin mechanism, the first thing we have to do is to unplug the coin mechanism from this plug here, which is the end of the wiring harness within the vending machine. So you simply wiggle it and pull it out. The next part is that this coin mechanism is held in by 3 screws. There's one behind here, there is one behind here, and there is one behind here. So again, ensuring that you haven't got any power to the vending machine. In order to be able to access those screws, we have to remove the coin acceptor. To remove the coin acceptor, we have these clips on the side here that are spring-loaded. So we basically push both of those up and then pull the coin acceptor towards you, and then it flips down. As it flips down, you can then pull it out. Okay, so we now have that out. Let's set that to the side. And now you can see clearly there's a screw there, there's a screw there, and there's a screw in behind here. We need to loosen those screws just a little. You don't have to unscrew them all the way. And then you just simply lift up the coin mechanism, or the coin mechanism. Trying to do this one hand and filmed is not very easy. Lift it up and take it off. And then you can see clearly the 3 screws that it was attached to. So, let's go see what we can do with this, and let's take it inside to the workshop. Okay, what I have set up here is basically a test system that mimics the vending machine. The electronics of the vending machine is actually really simple. Principally, you have two lights, even though I'm showing 3 here. You have 2 lights. One that shows that you can now purchase a drink, and it lights up have a Coke. That's this point of purchase light here. So that basically means you put enough money in, take out a drink. You have this line over here that lights up when there's not sufficient change in the machine, so it says correct change. And so those are the 2 lights. The 2 other electronic components that I've got to simulate here, because I don't have the vending machine here, is a solenoid and a switch. When money is put in and sufficient to vend a drink, the coin mechanism here powers a solenoid, which is basically like a magnet, that unlocks the bottle stack. So it goes and it unlocks it, which basically means you can open one of those doors to take a bottle out. But also in doing so, when it does that, it flicks a switch. And it flicks this switch like that. When it flicks the switch, that actually turns on the point of purchase light. When you open the door, so when you open one of the doors to take a bottle out, it turns the switch back, and that turns off the point of purchase light. Okay, so I'm simulating here the solenoid, so when this activates the solenoid, this light will come on. I will switch that switch, point of purchase light will come on. I'll simulate taking a bottle out by switching it back, and the light will go off and it starts all over again. And so what I've done is, so this is basically what you have in the vending machine. This is a wiring harness. Normally this plugs into a plug in the vending machine. I'm just simulating that here to see if this works. I've taken apart all of the mechanism and cleaned everything up, and so I've not had a chance to actually test it because I don't have the vending machine here, so that's why I've done all of this. It gives me the ability to test without having to use the vending machine. I'm ready to plug it in. Just a few other notes. So there's no change in this right now, so the exact change, or correct change light should come on. This is set to vend at 10 cents. So if you put in a dime, it should vend. If we put in 2 nickels, it should vend. Eventually, if you put in a quarter, it should vend and then give 3 nickels and change. Is that right? Yeah, 25 cents minus 15. I got 2 containers here at the bottom. The left container is for rejected coins. The right container here is for the change, when it gives change. And so we'll give it a shot. So I've got a bunch of nickels and dimes here, so we'll see what happens. Let's find my cable. Alright, let's see. Alright, so it's put on the correct change light as I predicted. That means there's no change in it right now. And so let's start with putting in 2 nickels. Okay, so now it'll activate the solenoid. Okay, and this is the light that then comes on to say ready to vend. I take a Coke out, swap back. Okay, notice the correct light, the correct change light is still on. Put another, and another, and right now these are all going into the nickels change column. Okay, so we vend another. Okay, take a Coke. Take a Coke back, correct change light is still on. Let's vend another. Okay. Take a Coke. Change light's still on, let's do it again. Okay, you notice now that the correct light change has gone off, and that means we have enough quarters in here. Vend a Coke, go back. Okay, so we have enough nickels, in the change thing now for it to take a quarter. So if I put in a quarter, I expect 3 nickels and change. I don't know if this is going to work. Ooh. Okay, I hit the reject button. I didn't like that quarter. Again, don't know if this is going to work. This is all in theory. Okay. Maybe it's set to vend at 15 cents because it gave me 10 cents back. So I need to check that. I thought it was set to vend at 10 cents, but maybe it's set to vend at 15 cents. And you notice the correct change light has come back on now, and that's because we took some nickels out. Again, if I put a nickel in, okay, 2 nickels, let's put another nickel in. Now, I should probably point out here that what I thought I was seeing was only part of the picture, and I think it goes to show how actually complex these coin mechanisms are. At this point in time, I thought I understood the process of what was happening during a vend cycle, but again, what I presented here was only part of the picture. At this time, I did not have a manual for the Simplex 2, so I was kind of having to gradually reverse engineer the coin acceptor, the slug projector, and the overall coin mechanism, and it was definitely a learning process. It was an interesting learning process, but it was definitely a learning process. So once I started to see here that I still had some issues or things that I didn't understand, I started to dig further. I started to clean more. I took more parts apart, and during that process I actually then reversed engineered the whole coin mechanism. I searched online for an NRI Simplex 2 manual. There are service manuals out there. I could not find, I searched for several days, I could not find on the internet a manual for this one. after having spent almost a whole weekend reverse engineering, tracing of wires, and really kind of trying to understand the full process, I actually stumbled across a link to the manual for Simplex 2, and I will add that link to the website where I found that. I did have to purchase the PDF, as was, to be honest, the case with any of these that I find online, but I was able to find a manual. In downloading a manual, at that point it was useful, but it confirmed what I'd already spent a number of days figuring out. So this next part of the video here, I actually go into more detail on what I'd learned on how this actual piece of, in my opinion, incredible engineering functions. All right, so I now have this fully going, and I have completely taken the whole thing apart. I figured out the exceptionally, to be honest, I'm in awe of how this thing is designed and works. Behind here is, in essence, an early computer. It's the precursor to a microchip. It's really incredible. The bit in the middle turns, and there's five, well, in essence, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 positions in each quarter turn, and a quarter turn is 1 vend. Each position amounts to 5 cents value being put in. Now, what's important is that up the top there on the right, you can actually set the vend price. So the vend price at 10 cents versus 15 cents versus 20 cents. And it's really an arithmetic machine. And these wires just go in behind, and based on the position it's in, it connects certain wires together. So if you put in 25 cents, it moves it 5 positions. And because the vend price is 10 cents, it then realizes it needs to give you 15 cents back. And the only change it gives, which is down here, are nickels, so 5 cents coins back. So right now I'm set to set 10 cents. Oh, and by the way, the issue that I was having in the end was that regardless of what you put in, when it got to the vend position, it was giving 3 nickels change. So it was giving 3 coins and change. So if you put in 10 cents, if you put in a dime, you got 3 nickels back. If you put in 2 nickels, so 10 cents, you got 3 nickels back. If you put in a quarter, so 25 cents, you still got 3 nickels back, which was normal. So what I actually figured out is, well, I figured a lot of things out, but this here rotates 1 full rotation when it gets to the vend position. So when you've put in enough money to vend, this goes through 1 rotation. There, you see there's 3 little ramps here. Every ramp makes this lever go in, which releases a nickel of 5 cents. Okay, so what was happening is when you put in 10 cents, it would go to vend. This would return, it would go for a rotation, and each time it would then release a nickel. So thinking through it, it made sense that that would happen every time it vends. But what should be happening is the nickel should be stopped from coming out, which then brought me over to this solenoid here. So this solenoid had seized up. There's a bunch of other issues I fixed as well, but the crux of it is that this solenoid had seized up and it needed cleaning. That activates a lock. And when the lock is activated, this arm still goes over, but it prevents the nickel from dropping out. So now what happens is, let me show you. If I put in, so the vend price right now is set to 10 cents. When I put in 2 nickels, okay, so I'm going to put in 5 cents, 10 cents, okay, 10 cents. And what you'll see is it goes to vend. The arm moves backwards and forwards 3 times, but no coins come out because this solenoid had actuated and basically blocked them from coming out. The engineering, both mechanical and electrical in this, is truly incredible. So now I'm going to put in a dime, right? So I'm putting in 10 cents. And again, let's take a look up here. You'll see this will move on 2 notches because 10 cents is equivalent to 2 lots of 5 cents. 1 notch, 2 notch, and then it goes on the remaining 3 notches and it vends. And again, nothing dropped out. No nickels dropped out. So now if I go put in a quarter, so I'm going to put in a quarter now. Again, vend price is still 10 cents. We need 3 nickels and change. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, it vended. This time that solenoid wasn't in place, so each time it moved the change lever, a nickel dropped out. So now I have 3 nickels. So just to show you how it works, if we move the sale price or the vend price to 15 cents, okay, just get my change out of here. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in, and sorry for the shaky camera work here, I'm going to put in a dime, so 10 cents, okay, and I'm going to put in a nickel. Okay, it vended, the lever moved 3 times, but because it was 15 cents, it didn't give any change. Now I'm going to put in, let's try this. So the vend price is 15 cents. Now I'm going to put in 2 dimes. So that's 20 cents. So that's 1 dime. Okay, up here it moved it on 2 notches. I'm going to put in another dime, so that's now 20 cents. Okay, you'll see it move on another 2 notches. Okay, it vends, and then it drops a nickel out the bottom. Alright, so much like when we took it out, we're going to put it back in now, and we can continue to see what's going on. So again, when you take it out, or when you want to put it back in, you have to first of all remove the coin acceptor at the top, which I'm going to try and do here one-handed. So we remove the coin acceptor. The coin mechanism is held onto the back plate here by these 3 screws. So again, much like when we took it off. So you line the 3 screws up with the 3 holes. And then hopefully, if I can find the other hole. So the next thing, the plug here, plug it back into the end of the wiring harness. And I have already replaced these 2 bulbs. One of them was broken. I picked a couple of the bulbs up from Home Depot. These bulbs are the same bulbs that actually you use in night lights. They are 110 volts. I replaced them with LED ones. It was just as cheap as anything else. So the next thing we need to do is to put the coin acceptor back in. So we take our coin acceptor here, make sure we get the right way up. Notice I haven't tightened the screws up, so this is actually protruding out a little bit. I haven't tightened the 3 screws up because I'm only really testing it right now. Once we've tested this, we're going to move on to the next phase, which is going to be to take the whole door off. But right now we're just looking to test the coin mechanism in the machine. So now we're all together here. We're going to plug it in. Now remember when we tested it before, we ran into issues with the coin mechanism. It wouldn't go through a vend cycle, so we couldn't even test the actually test the vending with the bottle stack. And so hopefully now when we put a coin in, it will actually vend. And so let me grab some coins. Okay, so I've got a quarter ready. Let's go ahead and plug it in and see what happens. Let's cross our fingers. Okay, so we had the power go to the coin acceptor, or the coin mechanism. Do we have any lights on? We don't have any lights on. Just so you see in the back here, we have the 2 lights, okay, and just so we're clear, these 2 lights, the one on the right is the correct change only light. The one on the left is have a Coke. So this is the This is the vent light that we were seeing when we were working on the workbench. So I'm obviously going to have to catch coins as they come down through here, but I'm going to put in a quarter first. So when I put in a quarter, we're set to vend at 10 cents. So again, as per before on the workbench, I'm expecting 3 nickels to come out the bottom. I'm expecting my quarter to come out on the right hand side here, which would normally go into the coin box. This is the coin box here. And then I'm expecting the have a Coke light to light up. Now these parts here we haven't tested yet. Okay, so this is the testing now off at the workbench, integrated with the vending machine. The other thing that we haven't tested yet is the bottle rack solenoid. Down the bottom here is the bottle rack solenoid. So again, if you remember on the test bench, we had that light that flashed momentarily. That is the vend light that activates, or basically would activate in the same way the solenoid would do. When the solenoid activates, we would basically be able to take a Coke. You see right now, the Coke, the bottle stack is locked, so we can't take a Coke. So hopefully that solenoid will activate, we can take a Coke. Let's see what happens. So I'm going to drop the quarter in the top. Okay, I think I lost a coin, but I got 3 knuckles out and I got my quarter. And have a Coke is not lit up. And I don't know if this unlocked. No, so this did not unlock. Oh, I don't know what that noise was. Alright, so it would appear we have some further wiring issues. To troubleshoot. Alright, so figured out what was wrong. I think I had a coin jammed. So I'd taken all the nickels out. I emptied the nickel change tube. As you can see, the lights come on here, which is the use correct change light. I'm going to put in 2 nickels and we'll see if it vends. So there's the first nickel. There's the second nickel. It's going through that vend cycle. I actually heard it. It triggered the solenoid. So we've got the have a Coke light is lit up. Okay, and it activated the solenoid, which unlocked the bottle stack. I think, yep, there you go. So now let me take a bottle and let it go, and it won't let me take another one now. And the have a Coke light has gone off, and the correct change only light has come back on. So I'm going to do that again. 1 nickel, 2 nickel, vending. Okay. Now you notice now the have a Coke light has gone off, but the use correct change light has not come back on. So I should be able to put a quarter in now, and we'll see if it gives the change. Excellent. So it gave me back the quarter, which normally would have dropped into the coin box. This is the coin box down here. It's kind of gross. I haven't cleaned that out yet, so I don't want the coins going in there. And it gave me 3 nickels. We have that have a Coke light come on. Took a Coke. Correct change light went back on, and we're good. So this has proven that the wiring, even though I'm going to clean it all and everything, it proves that everything is working. When I take apart the main body of the vending machine, I'm probably going to obviously clean up the solenoid. If it looks like it's in a bad way, I'll replace the solenoid anyway. But I'm now happy that the coin mechanism is working. Obviously we've taken care of that. I'm happy that the bottle rack and everything's working, even though we're going to clean it up. And we're good. So on to the next stage in the process, which is going to be the door here in the next episode. Thank you very much. Like, subscribe, hit the bell button and all that great stuff, and we'll see you soon. All right, so I got my assistant here who has learned a lot about it now, and he wants to show us all around the vending machine. Go ahead. What do you have?
I have a quarter.
Yep.
And 2 nickels.
Okay.
And put this one in first. Right?
What's that one?
The quarter.
Yeah, if you like.
Okay.
Just get ready to catch the coins.
1, 2, 3. Okay.
All right.
And now you can see from the inside, the white thing is on. It says have a Coke, and then I can pull mine out, and then it reset again. And if I put the 2 nickels in, 1, 2, it'll start the vending process again, and then the light is back on. And
Are you going to try and take 2 Cokes?
well, thing about that is it doesn't quite work. It just locks.
Oh, crafty, huh?
Only if one is barely pulled first, it'll do that one.
Yeah. So now you can take your Coke.
Yeah, but I'll show you one more time too. You might be wondering if you can take multiple when you open it, but this time I'll show you what happens if you try. Vending process, have a Coke, and then say you hold it open. This, close up, this bar right here goes down, and the bottles will go down to that bar, but they won't go any farther. So you can only take the one that's right there.
And then once you close it, that bar goes down.
Yeah, so I'll
So
try.
you let go, and the bar drops, and then the next bottle will roll down.
Right there.
There you go. Awesome. They were pretty smart in the 50s, huh?
I guess.
Yeah.